Eventbrite. You can also go to the Open Farm Tours website, and it's posted there as well. So looking forward to that, to actually going out to the farm and seeing how the animals are humanely raised and everything. And so that's this Saturday from 11 to 12, and it's $20 for that also. So I wanted to start a little bit and just kind of talk a little bit about how this webinar came about, what we're going to be discussing and things. Is we've kind of all know with the COVID-19, our industrial meat industry is really in bad shape. And it's been in bad shape for a long time. This is nothing new. The way that the animals are processed is very inhumane, but also just the scale that the industry is at is just not scalable for the populations that it's meant to serve. And the animals are jammed together in large numbers. They can't move, they're unhealthy. Things like 70% of all antibiotics manufactured in this country go towards animal agriculture. And the reason why is because the way that they're being raised is so unhealthy that literally they wouldn't be able to survive without the antibiotics. And, so there's that. And on top of that, then you have the fact that the industry as a whole is subsidized by our government. So that's not a level playing field either. And it's just, the whole thing is very lopsided, and it has been for a while. And, it's really affected a lot of the smaller meat producers and ranchers in this country. Their meat is expensive. Well, if we were paying the real cost of what meat actually cost, if it wasn't subsidized, it would all be that cost. So anyways, tonight we're here because there's a group of 17 ranchers that have come together and are taking control over their meat processing, how their meat is processed. And I'm going to let them go into that and talk about that. But I wanted to start off with a video. One of the ranches that's part of the co-op is TomKat Ranch. And we have a short video, a little bit about their ranch. It talks about regenerative agriculture and just the type of treatment to animals, the way we treat the land. So we can go ahead and roll that, if you can, please. Thanks.
One time, let me restart it. The sound was not working on it. So,
okay.
There we go. Sorry about that.
Ranch is 1,800 acres, and our mission statement here: a day in the life of TomKat Ranch is never dull. Ranch is 1,800 acres, and our mission statement here is raising healthy food on working lands in a way that sustains the planet and inspires others to action. But the way that we raise our cows here, they're 100% grass-fed. They're born here, they're weaned, which means they're moved off their moms, and then they go into a herd.
I work for Point Blue Conservation Science. We work as an on-site science partner to TomKat Ranch. We do a lot of work with soil, plants, and birds to look at ecosystem health and to see how management actions can impact ecosystem health.
That sort of monitoring program not only provides us with access to the scientific world and providing sort of meaningful data for science, but from a production standpoint, gives us incredible feedback on if our production style, if our land management is both producing food but also improving the ecological health of our landscapes.
Seeing what's actually happening in the soil from a physical, a chemical, and a biological perspective is really what informs us as to what's working and what's not working. we're growing soil on this ranch, and we're taking the steps that we need to monitor and measure this growth of soil, because there's only 3 places where carbon can go. It's either the ocean, the air, or the land. So we're going to take it, put it in the land.
TomKat is a really special place. We do a very special blend of conservation and production. TomKat, it goes one step further, and it's that conservation and production are actually complementary.
How it works is the TomKat Ranch Educational Foundation raises the cattle on the ranch, and then Left Coast Grass-Fed takes the cows over and markets it and experiences all those bottleneck and processing issues. We're animal welfare approved, and we're American Grass-Fed approved, so no antibiotics, no hormones. Also, by attending various conferences and workshops, we're able to communicate directly with other ranchers and farmers and deal firsthand with what issues they face, how we can work together to resolve those.
I think our proudest moment is that we've engaged ourselves in that network and built relationships and partnerships with all the other people out there, because it's not just about what we do, but it's about coming together with a whole bunch of other people who are doing this and helping to be part of the movement.
It looks for the best from everybody and then takes those ideas, tests them, and shares them. It deeply respects the researchers and the ranchers, and really wants to provide very practical, real information and not just sell sort of more dogma, but actually inspire others.
That's the big opportunity that I see, is getting more people excited about seeing how if you do mimic nature, you can increase your amount of grass that's grown. You can then increase your herd, that increases your economics, and it raises a healthy food product. So it's beneficial to everybody, which is the exciting thing about it for us.
Great. Thanks so much for running that. So TomKat Ranch is just a model, a perfect model of how ranching can really, transform the land and transform the way that we raise meat. And so I wanted to introduce our panel now that we have tonight, and to start off, Kathy Webster, who works at TomKat Ranch. She's the food advocacy manager. TomKat is an 1,800-acre cattle ranch in Pescadero. Part of TomKat's ranch's mission of regenerative agriculture, Kathy leads the ranch's Fork to Farm initiative. And that's focused on shifting demand for healthy regenerative products with consumers, chefs, schools, and hospitals, and provides equitable access for all. Our other panelist that we have tonight is going to be Duskie Estes. And Duskie and her husband, John Stewart, own Black Pig Meat Company. For 19 years, they were chef owners of the award-winning San Francisco Michelin-rated Zazu Kitchen and Farm in Sonoma County. Zazu was included in the San Francisco Michelin Guide for over a decade, and they received numerous awards, including Slow Food Snail Awards, Good Food Awards, Grand Cochrane, sorry if I mispronounced that, King and Queen of Pork, Star Chef Sustainability Awards. And it was also, Zazu was in the top 50 restaurants in the Bay Area. Duskie is the co-owner of Black Pig Meat Company in Forestville, has a vast history of food experience, including celebrity chef on the Food Network shows. So welcome, Kathy and Duskie. And I wanted to mention that Sarah Silva was supposed to be with us tonight, but she had an emergency come up and she had to leave. So we're going to go with Kathy and Duskie. Thanks.
Okay, hi everyone. Can you hear me okay? Welcome to Farsi presentation. I've been with TomKat for 13 years now. And as Penny said, we're a 1,800 acre cattle ranch in Pescadero along the coast between Half Moon Bay and Santa Cruz in San Mateo County. We are an educational ranch with a goal to inspire the transition of 5 million California rangeland acres to be managed regeneratively. Our mission is to raise healthy food on working lands in a way that regenerates the planet and inspires others to grow a just, thriving, and resilient food system for all. Big part of the work that I do is manage the cattle from the time they're ready to harvest to the time they're ready to slaughter and go to market. Over more than 10 years, I've experienced firsthand the bottleneck issue in the processing world and the supply chain, and how difficult it is for small and mid-sized producers to have access to USDA processing. I'm here tonight as with Duskie, and we are missing Sarah Silva, who had an emergency. We are 3 of 16 founding members of the BARC.
And I'm Duskie Estes. I'm a chef, a farmer, and a rancher. I had Zazu Kitchen and Farm in Sonoma County for 19 years, and currently have Black Pig Meat Co. And we make bacon and a whole line of snout to tail products, including soap and lip balm out of the lard from pasture-raised pigs. And on our own farm in Forestville, we raise rabbits, ducks, sheep, pig, goat, and chickens. I think I haven't forgotten anybody, but along with our kids and our cats and dogs and a couple fish. But so we, for the 19 years that we had Zazu, we had as part of our mission that we would buy direct from over 200 farmers and ranchers. We really believed in the power of our dollar to make change in the food system. And so we wanted to see it all go to the ranchers who were raising animals on pasture and caring for the earth. And what I saw in the last 6 months that we had Zazu, which was we lost in a flood in 2019, was the loss of ranchers. In the last 6 months, the pace seemed to really pick up, that we were losing the ranchers that we'd been working with for 19 years. We couldn't get local goat anymore, not even local lamb anymore in Sonoma County. It was kind of ridiculous. And the reason for that was because of processing issues. And so I actually had sort of given up hope because I'd been fighting for their existence for a really long time. And I kind of thought all that was going to be left is commodity meat, which is, as you described earlier, not treated correctly and is awful for the environment. And so I was sort of thinking about becoming a vegetarian again. I had been a vegetarian for 23 years. And the forming of BARC has really given me hope because the other part of what we did at Zazu, because we bought whole animal direct from rancher, we took on the commitment to try to train all of our cooks how to butcher from whole animal, because we wanted them to be able to do the same at whatever was their next restaurant. And when I felt like we were losing all the ranchers, I was sort of like, basically the life's work was pointless. We trained all these kids how to butcher, and now they won't even have access to the animals to use the craft that we taught them. So I'm crazy grateful to be a founding board member of BARC and be here tonight to tell you some more about the story. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Kathy for the beginning of the slides.
So how we got to where we are today, after losing access to the only USDA slaughterhouse in the Bay Area, that bottleneck became narrower. Many ranchers usually sell their meat within 40 minutes of where they raise their animals. But the closure of the facility has forced ranchers to drive easily over 250 miles just one way to take their livestock to harvest. Currently in the state of California, there are 5 USDA plants that harvest multi-species, which include beef, pork, lamb, and goat, and only 3 of those facilities are open to custom processing, which is opening up to private label ranchers. If you talk to small and mid-sized ranchers, one of the biggest concerns they bring up is the access to processing. So many times every year, ranchers are keeping their fingers and toes crossed, hoping that they get dates for slaughter and cut and wrap. It often limits how many animals they raise, because there's often limits on how many animals they can take. So back in December 2019, a group of ranchers and stakeholders got together, and there was one out of the group, there was about 80 people gathered together. One group focused on immediate actions like shared transportation of livestock and shared transportation to get meat back. And there was a very small group of us, about 6-7 people, including Duskie and I, and a few others, that decided to look in the viability and if a mobile unit would be worth it. And we did all the numbers and worked and met at least a couple times a week, and that's how that group started. But add to the middle of our work and research on this, the bottleneck, the COVID-19 highlighted the processing issue on meat processing, with big plants, as I'm sure many of you read, closing down, and a lot of those large producers actually started going into small and mid-sized slaughter facilities and cut and wrap, and pushing out the dates for the little guys. It became kind of a nightmare.
So in July, we're proud to say, we formed the Bay Area Ranchers Co-op, or BAR-C. And we are, Kathy and I are 2 of the 16 founding members that came together to solve this bottleneck, to support the livelihoods of ranchers and build resilient regional food systems by forming a rancher-owned cooperative and bringing a mobile processing unit to be housed in our region. We decided to set this up as an ag co-op, as this is beneficial to our food systems and creates a more resilient food supply, creating a more stable solution, as the ranchers are the owners, producers, and they have full voting rights. The US co-op sector is massive and often overlooked in economic development. When California talks about the value added ag, we should talk about community and stakeholder ownership. This is no niche. There are many successful co-ops, including multi-million-dollar firms that help little guys compete on price, thrive economically, and contribute back to the local economy. Some examples are Land O'Lakes, Cabot, Organic Valley, are all major animal production co-ops, and new local small and successful one is Feed Sonoma in Petaluma. Our mission is simple. It is to serve our community of ranchers and farmers by providing access to local processing with transparency, honesty, and dedication.
Our solution is by ranchers for ranchers, providing regional, humane, and no stress harvest, providing job opportunities, and creating a model for other regions to replicate. The goal of our business is to provide farming and ranching communities in the greater Bay Area with a USDA inspected multi-species mobile slaughter unit for beef, lamb, goat, and hogs, and eventually a brick and mortar cut and wrap. during the middle of all of our research, we had an opportunity to take a look at a USDA cut and wrap facility that was used for poultry processing. That's in negotiation now, and we haven't had any contracts. But if you look at the picture on the left, this is actually a site to park our mobile unit at one of the ranches. We're looking at 4 different sites right now. I didn't want to put all 4 because it's kind of complicated to see that, but it gives you an idea of what's involved in parking one of the mobile units. Our values for Farsi include animal welfare and transparency, to uphold the highest standards of skill, reverence, and compassion in the work and dedication to our animals and our environment. Transparency, to work with our customers in an open, cooperative manner and maintain clear communication. Service and quality, to provide unprecedented customer service and carcass quality while providing consistency and integrity throughout. Healthy culture, to provide a working environment that meets the physiological, safety, and social needs of workers while maintaining a healthy and calm environment for the animals. Resiliency and viability, to revive and strengthen our local food systems, and while creating a model of processing in a cooperative way that cares for the animals, the environment, and our community.
So after 6 months of market research into logistics and finances, we compiled a list of more than 80 direct-to-consumer ranchers in Northern California. Between all of these ranches, we harvest more than 10,000 head of livestock annually. Our research shows the demand is twice what the unit can handle, with 60% of these animals coming from less than 50 miles away. Our numbers show we will become cash flow positive in just 10 months, with projections of only running at 62% of our capacity. Kathy?
As an agricultural co-op, we provide a service to our members. The ranchers pay for the harvest and processing of their animals, and in turn sell the final products directly to their customers. Any profit generated from these services goes back to the owners of the co-op, the ranchers themselves. It's a virtuous cycle that anchors the local food system and supports ranchers and consumers alike. Our projections show we will be profitable by the 3rd fiscal year.
The ranchers are currently driving to Orland, Dixon, Turlock, Corning, Eureka, and Paso Robles for processing. Just counting 12 of the rancher members in 8 months, we have driven more than once around the world, over 26,000 miles. And an added benefit to the proposed location is a 78% reduction in CO2 emissions. To get everything up and running, we need to raise a total of $1.2 million. And as of close of business on January 18, we had $749,100 committed. We ordered the mobile unit from Friesla and intend to have it in place by this May. Funds will go towards operating expenses, equipment, and facility improvements. We were fortunate to have an angel investor who committed $350,000, $250,000 upfront and $100K of matching funds to help us attract other investors. What helped us get us going is we had matching funds of $100,000, and this helped us look attractive to Class B investments. $96,000 will come from 32 rancher members at a $3,000 commitment each. we are currently reviewing member applications. Yeah, so I think I'm ready for you, Kathy, now.
Why we believe in this project? We believe in this project will work because we have an incredible amount of dedication and commitment from our founding members and our board. They're dedicated to the land, the animals, and the community. And it is clear we need more regional processing solutions like this. I encourage you to please go to our website, and I thank you so much and welcome your questions.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. That
There are
was,
questions in the question and answer. I don't know whether you want to wait till the end or not.
yeah, we'll wait a little bit longer about that. I wanted to talk a little bit more about, you know, the fundraiser and everything, and about the Bar C. You know, it's just, it's way past due time that we need to have these sort of regional food systems. And that's really what we're all about. That's what this webinar is all about this evening. That's what Open Farm Tours is all about, is really connecting people with their food source, because we're just so disconnected right now. People don't realize the complexity of the industrial meat industry and how it is really affecting not only our health, but the health of the earth. And these regional processing facilities can make such a huge difference in that. Honestly, it can turn our food system around. We need to fund it, and we need to, you know, get on it because all these things are with the COVID-19 and everything. I mean, there's a reason why these bacteria or viruses are jumping, you know, species, and that they're trying to survive just like everything else. And really, I think, you know, can learn and from places like TomKat Ranch and from all the ranchers that are part of this co-op. They realize sustainability is a huge thing to them, and having that kind of trust in a meat processing system is big. And I think that's what people want. They want more transparency. And so anyways, I think we have, this is a fundraiser. We are looking for money. So that, and they've, you know, it's remarkable in a year, just how far they have come. And I think we had a fundraiser slide that I'd like to put up now too, if we could, to show the links for that would be great. See, it should come up here in a minute. And it's, you guys can take a screenshot or whatever. It's also on the website, the Eventbrite site, the links for where people can donate. So I don't know if that's going to come up or not, but maybe we can show it later. If not.
If you go to our website, you can either donate or invest there.
Mm-hmm.
The website is bayarearanchers.com, and there's both a donate button and an invest tab. So
okay. Well, I don't see the slide coming up, but anyways, we also had a video from Guy Fiorare, and I would let Duskie, were you responsible for that? Somehow?
Oh, maybe.
Maybe.
No, ask my pal to do me a big favor.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know if we can bring that up right now to show that.
Is this what you were looking for?
Oh, there's the donation. Yeah, that's the fundraiser. Okay, so there's the links to the fundraiser slide right there. You can make the donation. Now, the top one, you can make a donation of whatever you want. If you want to donate $20 or whatever. The second one, the refunder link, is if you want to become an investor in Barcy. And so it's the amount is a little bit higher for that.
A $500 start, anywhere from 500 to 49,000.
Yeah, okay. And also they're hiring too. They're hiring for a business manager, harvest manager positions. So if anyone's out there looking for a job to get involved in this, definitely give them a shout out about that. And did we have the guy video to put up or to show
Yes, I'll bring it
that?
up right now.
Okay.
Hey, I'm Guy Fieri, and I want to let you know that the small farmers and the ranchers from my Northern California home area have really needed some reliable and sustainable processing for their animals, and they needed this for a really long time. Now, a group of these ranchers have come together to build their own processing facility and solve a problem that was it's just been decades in the making. I'm thrilled to support their efforts to make sure that the animals that they're raising to feed us are harvested in the most humane way possible. The Bay Area Ranchers Co-op is the right solution. And you know what? Now is the right time. Check it out.
That's great. I love it. Thank you, Guy, for putting that out there. So now we have, I wanted to invite Luis Sierra, who is our last presenter this evening. Luis is the Assistant Director of the California Center for Cooperative Development. He has extensive experience in developing agricultural marketing organizations to carry out alternative marketing strategies, including agricultural cooperatives, farmers markets, investor-owned businesses. And he was the architect of the co-op structure for Barcy. And I'll let him tell you about co-ops, why their business model is a good fit for their group. Welcome, Luis.
Thanks very much. You can hear me, and do people now see me as on the main screen, or my small little thumbnail?
You're on the main screen.
Excellent. Okay, I thought I had to do something, but okay, great. So it's been my pleasure to work with Bay Area Ranchers Co-op since they were embryonic as the MUSC, as the Mobile Unit Steering Committee. I think I have that right. Doing the feasibility study, and they came to ask me about entity selection after they had figured out that the business model that they or the business plan was going to pencil out. And when I saw the work that they had done, I realized that a lot of effort had gone into really understanding the local markets and understanding really the way that meat moves from the ranch to the consumer. And I saw a great alignment between the members and the people who they surveyed, all being essentially selling into the retail market, as close to direct to customer as possible, which makes the custom processing fit with what they're looking to do. And I didn't come at this saying that you should be a co-op. I really want to see co-ops succeed. And so I know that you have to have certain things in alignment. And what I saw was, number one, that there was true local leadership that had really taken this from a need to an actual plan, and had spent really weekly meetings going through, vetting all of the information, organizing a plan for how to achieve it. And one of the other pieces is that they want to maintain that control of the units so that it serves ranchers. So its primary purpose isn't to generate profit for the people who put money into it, but to provide a service. this is a business and it does need to be profitable. Co-ops do not, they're not nonprofit organizations. They're not charitable organizations, so to speak. In the end, they're going to live and die by the quality of services that they provide their own members. And I also saw that there was a willingness for each of the members to put in their own money, have skin in the game. And so that made the choice for a co-op as opposed to an S Corp or limited liability company or a straight C corporation a good fit, because every other choice brings in other players whose interest might be not in providing the best possible service at the best possible cost, but to get some kind of return from it. And so that's where I provided the option for a cooperative. This is not a cheap business to start, and growers are, ranchers are putting in the starting money. California has provided some exemptions to investments into agricultural cooperatives and only agricultural cooperatives from non-members that allow some money to go into it, but doesn't come with governance rights, with controlling rights. And so once we put all those things together, that's where we realized that that Bar-C would be able to meet all of its objectives using the agricultural co-op model and offering some preferred shares to really friends and family and community supporters, people that that are okay with having their money be patient capital. But some of the other things that I've seen this group that have really made this a model in great cooperative development is that, well, beyond having what I call the most accelerated development track I've ever seen, weekly board meetings and leadership that's putting in well over 20 hours a week to get us to this place. I don't see that usually. All kinds of advice and information have been used well. So references that I provided for attorneys and for other business consultants, and immediately within a week got those people to work. So being able to take advice. Oh, and also, I mean, all the education that happened along with this and learning from other cooperatives in the meat processing. These are things that were really taken to heart and put to good use in the planning. I want to make sure that everybody knows that, I mean, you saw the scale of this. Even though this is a small regional plant, it does cost more than $1 million to get it going. The preferred shares is going to be a great option, but this is a group that you can really feel very confident that your small donations would go a long ways in helping them open this and make it work in the first year at those smaller donation levels. So if you are able to purchase a preferred share, an investment share, I strongly recommend it. It's good only for as long as you're a resident of the state of California. But if you can spare $25, you know it's going to be turned into something that's going to reduce carbon emissions and that's going to help increase the access to local meats all throughout Northern California. So I'm going to leave it at that. This is really the most inspiring group that I've worked with in a long time, and know that they're on track to having a successful open. Thank you.
Thank you, Luis. Yeah, I think exactly, I ditto what you were saying about, feeling confident about this group, that they're very together, the way that they've approached this whole situation and really took charge of it and organized and, did the feasibility study and the report, spent 6 months really looking at it from a business point of view, aside from the fact that they're all, passionate and keeping their ranches alive and going. They just really had all their ducks in a row, and I'm very impressed with the group as well, and excited for them to get up and going so that Luis, we use this as a template for other regions as well, all over the country, right? We need many, many more of these. And so anyways, I'm sure that a lot of our attendees tonight have some questions that they'd like to ask. And I think that Pauline mentioned that some have come in already. Pauline, did you want to kind of go ahead with that? We can start the question and answer period if you'd like.
So the first question is from Ian McFall, Bay Area Regional Governor for Slow Food USA, etc. Or maybe that's just his hi. Okay, we have some definite questions here. Antonio Gregorio says, will this be a service provided in the area for any cattle owner? And in addition, will members be allowed to use the trailer?
So do you want me to answer that, Kathy? I
Yeah,
can answer
sure,
that.
go
That's
ahead.
easy. You can take the hard ones.
Okay. We might pass the hard ones to Louise.
So yes, so for your $3,000 membership, in order to maintain your membership, you must process at least 1 cow a year. So this is in order to support the little guys. What that equals in pigs or goats and sheep is if you are not raising cattle, then and you're raising pigs instead, you must process 2 pigs a year. Or if you're a sheep goat person, it would be 3 sheep goat a year. So the smallest size ranch can be a member. Members get priority in the scheduling. So if there is space after all of the member animals and you are not a member, you could still process there. But you want to be a member because our dance card is going to be very full. We can already tell that the need outweighs the capacity by 200%. So so we recommend the $3,000 membership fee, which is a one-time fee. It's not every year. It's a one-time fee, and then you're a lifetime member.
So Duskie, he had a few more questions, so part of which you've answered. Would the trailer service the Santa Cruz County area?
So, and correct me if you have a different answer than I do, Kathy, but currently the trailer will be possibly in 2 locations, possibly in Marin and Sonoma County, but you could bring your animals from Santa Cruz. Is that correct, Kathy?
Yes, that's correct, but and there might be a possibility of periodically the unit coming down to San Mateo County, like in Pescadero.
What is the maximum number of livestock to be processed each year?
I did see that, and we do it by days, but Duskie or Luis, you can jump in, but it's 5 days a week at, we hope to do 13 animals a day. It'd probably be 10 to 13. Go ahead, Duskie.
Well, so I'll plug in 11. 11 times 5 times 50 weeks is 35,750 cattle. But it would be times 2 that on pigs or times 3 that on goat sheep.
So from Ian McFall to all panelists, how soon might you expect poultry processing to be possible, especially for our heritage turkey project, about 200 birds?
So it's our goal to add on poultry, but we got to get this puppy running first. We have to buy another unit.
So San Mateo, you already said there was a possibility of San Mateo?
Yes.
And Rachel wants to know whether you're doing rabbits.
if we did the poultry, they could do rabbit.
Okay. That is all.
Pauline, I did see somebody ask about the member benefits or the responsibilities. So
I missed that.
Responsibilities.
Obligation.
That's okay.
What they said.
I can answer it.
The whole question was, can anyone join or will there be a selection process? What are the members' obligations?
Right. Okay. So we are receiving member applications right now, and we will be reviewing them and making a decision by February 8th. We only have a maximum capacity right now, so we can get our feet wet, 32 members. So if you're interested in an application, please send us an email and we'd be happy to get one sent out to you. Part of the member benefits include 1 member, 1 vote. You can elect and serve on the board of directors when the terms are up. And Louise, feel free to jump in if I get anything wrong. You share in any profit earned by the co-op. The member service needs are prioritized over non-members. And responsibilities include invest as a membership share, which is our $3,000 one-time fee. Follow established standards and requirements for the slaughter services. Maintain voting rights through usage. Another thing that I don't think we brought up is we have a harvest pool. So if people are willing to be a little bit flexible, so that if somebody comes short of an animal and they know they're coming short, we can pull somebody or call somebody in that pool, so that we're always consistently running at capacity.
So if we've missed any questions, you can still go, let me see. Okay, where will the closest market to Santa Cruz be that sells meat? I'll read the way she wrote it. Where will the closest market to Santa Cruz that sells the meat be located?
I think what she's asking is if she's looking for a place to buy the meat that was processed by this mobile unit.
Right.
That is a very good question. TomKat Left Coast Grass-Fed used to sell at the Santa Cruz markets. We don't currently, just because we're focused on education, but I would imagine that it could be sold at the West Side market, maybe even the downtown farmers market.
How about the El Salchichero? No? On Swift Street?
I think, no, I think he might be sourcing out of state, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
But what I can say is this will actually open up ranching as a business. So my business currently, we make bacon, and because we need a USDA co-packer and we need animals the way we want them, there's very few people raising pigs in California. So we actually have a co-packer in Oregon, and we buy direct from a ranch up there that raises the animals the way we want. Once this unit is here, it would be possible for me on my farm to raise the animals on my farm. So it opens up business models for people locally to be making local meat more accessible in a place that wants to support it.
So another question from Antonio. In terms of the sale of the animal itself, how does the owner profit and contribute to the co-op? i.e., how are the profits apportioned and what is required in terms of the sale of the animal relative to the service?
The co-op doesn't buy the animal. Go ahead, Luis.
No, that's what this is leading towards. This is a service co-op. It's like a fee for service arrangement. So you deliver a live animal and you get a carcass, and maybe soon thereafter cut and wrapped meat. But all members need to be able to sell their own. So it is that that members are going to pay the rates for lamb, hog, and cattle for custom slaughter and processing. And at the end of the year, you essentially do your financial accounting and see if there's any net earnings. And if there are, then that profit is allocated to the members according to how many animals they put through the co-op. So if you happen to be 1% of all the animals that were slaughtered that year, then you would be apportioned 1% of the net profit.
But every rancher has their own marketplace, essentially.
Yep.
Every rancher has their own business selling their animals.
I'll just add that that's been an issue with ranchers, is going to facilities where they have their own operation and their own label, that oftentimes they look at the private label ranchers like us coming in as competitors. And in the past, they've been blocked from being able to use that facility's processing, period.
Mm-hmm.
So the co-op is non-competitive.
And because of that, this co-op model, I mean, as somebody who was a buyer, right? I was a buyer from all these ranchers. It gives them stability and permanency that they've never had. They don't have to be at the whim of somebody who owns a facility who tells them no. Now they all are owners, and it can't be taken away. It's an amazing thing.
And I did see that Antonio put his email in there. I'm assuming he's interested in possibly getting a member packet. If that's so, I can always reach out and find out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm happy to send out follow-up to all the attendees and everything too, if they need.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you. Is that all the questions we have? Are there any more?
There might be a couple more. Just a second.
Okay.
That was
Just
all,
down, yeah.
but they've been still typing.
And while Pauline's looking, I just want to say we couldn't have done this without the help of Luis and his staff at CCCD, as well as UC Cooperative Extension Ag Ombudsman Vince Trotter, who was our fearless leader and always was on time and there.
Yes. Very
So,
special. Yes.
I just want to clarify something. We said Q&A, but in fact, everybody was putting the questions in the chat. So it was easier to work off the chat. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's what I've been
We're
seeing.
both open, so it didn't matter. So Luis said the customer is the member rancher.
In
Antonio
response to
says,
the question just before that,
yeah. Antonio says he would like to know more. Yes, we figured that. Thank you. And Desiree says, I'm so glad you all are doing this. Rachel, thank you so much. I'm very grateful for the work you are all doing. And Ian McFall says, Vince is a legend.
He is.
Vince is our guardian angel. That's Duskie. Who's Vince?
Vince is UC Cooperative Marin County Ag Ombudsman, who is our fearless leader. And I think he's the one who hooked us up with Luis, right,
Yeah.
Luis?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
I knew you before.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's it.
Okay.
Well, I want to thank Penny for fearlessly leading this effort, and so appreciate your time putting into this, and Pauline for doing the technical stuff, as well as Ethan, who's been very quiet back there.
Yeah, really, it's came together really well, and I'm real happy with how everything came together. So thank everyone. Thank you for coming. And I'll be sending out a follow-up with the links to donate and everything. And I guess that's it. Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
Thank you,
Thank
Louise.
you, everyone.
Love you,
Yeah.
Kathy.
Love you, Duskie. Thank you, Louise.
Thank
We
you,
already
guys.
left. Bye, you guys.
Bye.
Bye.